There will be a short delay of flight.
Welcome to another edition of Coffee and Beats. I am your musical barista, Rod the Magnificent, and I'm back with another review. Yes, I have been a busy man. So much hot music, so much fire has been coming out. So yes, I'm going to be dropping a lot of episodes, ladies and gentlemen. But before I get into that, don't forget, hit the subscribe button, hit the like, hit the follow, hit the bell for notifications so you can get alerts on every time I drop a new episode. And in today's episode, I got a treat for you. And I'm here to talk about the new album by Silas Short, Chicago's very own Silas Short. And the name of this album is called LUSHLAND. It is the debut album from the R&B artist, and a passionate one as well. This is a very passionate recording by Silas Short. And in 2021, just to give you guys a little history lesson on him, a defining loss inspired Silas to take a leap in search of new possibilities. He packed up his car and left Chicago. Physically, he moved to Los Angeles. Spiritually and emotionally, he journeyed to a place called LUSHLAND, which is inspired by the album title. LUSHLAND is filled with soulful songs rooted in the 80s and 90s R&B, informed by Silas' years of playing in gospel bands with his father, and an early education in hip-hop, funk, and neo-soul. He even mentioned in his review being signed to Stone's Throw, which is one of those record labels that have birthed artists like Madlib. Actually, I was able to check out an interview of his, and he was just labeling some of his musical inspirations, such as Erykah Badu, D'Angelo, Lauryn Hill, and James Poyser, Jay Dilla, just to name a few. This dude knows his stuff. He knows his stuff. He's young, but he knows his music. Usher, who's also another inspiration for him, Cordier as well. Kiefer and Peanut Butter Wolf are also mentioned as inspirations as well. So this dude is very locked into his music taste, and very similar music taste to me myself personally. So it's probably why I connected with this album. But let's start off by saying he is also an Office fan. Okay,
what's your favorite episode of The Office?
Oh man, my favorite episode is when he took the GPS route and he drove the car into the lake. Do y'all remember that one?
No.
Anybody that's an Office fan is a friend of mine. All right, and so let's get into the album review. Enough of me rambling. Let's talk about LUSHLAND, because man, this might be another early contender for album of the year. Silas dropped something special with this one. It's rich, it's soulful, and it's full of layers, but it never feels heavy. It's just smooth, clean, honest music you can feel from the soul. And before I dive into the tracks, give you a little more background on Silas Short. He also mentioned in that interview that he injured his hand working an old job. I think he said, correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I think he was working for Jimmy John's, and he had a boss that was really hard on him. And I guess he went on a trip and he ended up messing up his hand, which really, he even thought about quitting music. But instead of doing that, he taught himself a whole new way of playing the guitar, and he built his sound from scratch. And that mix of R&B, soul, and jazz and lo-fi is his signature now, and you saw that in his 2021 EP Drawing, which was kind of a warm-up to LUSHLAND. And here we are with LUSHLAND, and some of the highlights, I mean from jump, he captures your attention with the short intro.
It's repetitive. Touch the dream, the dream.
You're just bobbing your head. And then I Like You is the kickoff track, It kicks the door open. Even in the video, he kind of kicks the door open, literally. A warm, funky groove with a hook that sticks. It's playful, but it's still mature. Silas knows how to flirt with the melody and still keep the song grounded. And then the title track, Lushland, it feels like sunlight breaking through the trees. The textures on this one is crazy, man. It's layered just right. Okay, and his falsettos glide across the beat and it's smooth like butter. And then Pass On By is a smooth standout track, bumping the whip music here. I mean, you could bump this anywhere. Yeah, I like to up at a bus stop if somebody's sitting there and they don't have their headphones on, they hear what I'm bumping, and I'm sure you're gonna get a nod of approval listening to a track like this. It's got that bounce, but the lyrics are reflective. He's talking about letting things go without bitterness, and that's just grown man energy. That's when you realize you know what you want to do in life. It's a great track. And also he has another track called Like a Charm, and it does just what the title says. It moves easy, it keeps that mellow energy going, and one of those joints that just sounds like comfort. And then there's Affirmation, which is a short interlude, but it hits, man. I put this thing on loop, man, because it's just so good. It's stripped down. It's a nice vibe. It's just a little reminder to breathe and refocus. It's just one of those tracks that just flow so well. And then you have Wolf's Blessing, which is an instrumental closer, which is a beautiful closer. No words, just pure vibes. It's a type of track that plays like the ending credits. Just amazing. It's an amazing way to wrap up an album. Top to bottom, Lushland feels personal, it's polished, and it's full of soul. Silas Short just took everything he's been through and turned it into something you can feel. And the production is warm. It has an analog feel to it with just enough grit and grind just to get you guys bumping it in the whip no matter where you at. It's one of those albums. It's a sleeper album. I mean, if you have people in the car with you and you just pop this on, everybody's gonna be nodding their heads. No one's gonna be saying, hey man, what are we listening to, dude? No, you're not gonna get that. Nothing is overproduced here. It's natural. It's just all vibes. I give this one a very enthusiastic 4.5 fire cups out of 5. This one is a stellar project. It is an early contender for album of the year, top 5 in my opinion. Silas Short, if you're listening, thank you for giving us such a solid debut, and I look forward to hearing more from you in the near future. I think he's going to be one of those artists that you're going to get something different with every album, so I can't wait to hear what his next album has to offer. And that will do it for this episode of Coffee and Beats. I am your musical barista, Rod the Magnificent. When it comes to coffee, when it comes to music, stay grounded for life. What do you think of the new Silas Short project? Have you given it a chance? If not, check it out. If you have, let me know what you have to say in the comment section down below. Don't forget to sign up to the Patreon. Also, buy me a coffee as well. You're not literally buying me a coffee. You're just signing on to some exclusive content that I will have, that I'll only be putting on those platforms and not on YouTube. So check me out there as well. But until then, I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.